Hi, everybody. For PJTV.com, I'm Bill Whittle, and this is your trifecta moment in 3D. Here's another little salvo in the ongoing culture wars. You might find this one amusing. I know I did. Out in Missouri, there's a car dealer named Mark Muller, and he did pretty well with a promotion giving away a handgun with each new car purchase. So he decided to up the ante and see what would happen if he gave away an AK-47 with every new truck purchase. Now, naturally, the deeply concerned news people at CNN had to look into this shocking promotion, apparently outraged that he might be giving away something that's legal in Missouri. It's as legal as a toaster or a microwave oven. Let's listen in, shall we?
You know, some people watching this might think, owning a handgun is one thing, but owning an AK-47 is something else, and maybe this is just a tad irresponsible?
It's a little grandstanding, but how about that guy that just had him and his wife killed that had the 12 children with the 7 guys coming through the door? I guarantee you he wishes he had an AK-47 as those maggots busted through his door and slaughtered him and his wife in front of his children.
Well, but others
for guns like AK-47s is home defense.
Well, but police officers are shot in the line of duty all the time, and they carry guns every day, so maybe some might not think that's a great argument.
Well, I'd personally like to have a sporting chance instead of just becoming a victim. I guarantee you those guys that broke through that door that used guns to kill those people did not have legal guns and did not go through the proper steps to get them. Those were all illegal guns, and I would bet my bottom dollar on it. I haven't seen the facts yet, but look, there's a bunch of evil in the world, and people need to protect themselves. We're real firm believers. We're country folks down here. We live down here, and we're real firm believers in the Second Amendment, and we don't want to become victims. And I would rather defend myself. The only 911 call I need is chambering around.
Let's bring in our own vodka pundit, Stephen Green. He's joining us from Denver. Steve, this voice of this man, his attitude, his whole tone, everything he believes, used to be absolutely common in America. Our concerned CNN anchor says she has no problem with handguns, although her heart didn't really seem to be in that. But this AK-47 thing to her seems to be crossing the line. So my question is, if you decide to break into Mark Muller's house one night, are you going to be more dead if he shoots you with an AK-47 or with a .38 Special?
Absolutely, yes. Bill, I have to ask you, why do you hate the little children? You can perfectly well defend your home with nothing more offensive to a child's sensibilities and safety than a butter knife. You just have to catch the attacker when he's not looking in the middle of the night while you're all groggy with sleep. There's absolutely no reason for a pistol, a handgun, a rifle, an AK-47, a mortar, or anything else any of you Second Amendment freaks want to keep in your dresser drawer.
Well said. Let's bring in noted reactionary Scott Ott of ScrappleFace.com. He's coming into the discussion from Zionsville, Pennsylvania. Hi, buddy. How are you?
Better than I deserve.
Scott, seriously, one of the things I always admired about you is we can always count on you for moral clarity. So my question is, does a free citizen owe these criminals, Mr. Muller called them those maggots, does he owe them a sporting chance to come through the door and execute your family?
Absolutely not. I mean, first of all, the criminal has the advantage of surprise. Anything that you can do to overcome that advantage, I think, is fair game. I mean, I think the average person, when that CNN reporter said, well, don't you think that some people watching this, not me, of course, but some people watching this might be a little bit concerned about an AK-47? I'll bet you 79% of the people watching that were thinking, gee, I wonder if you can also get a gun rack, or does it come with a scabbard where you can just pull out the AK? I mean, people do not think like media people. 90% of people looked at that, especially guys, and said, man, that's cool.
People do not think like media people, and that's kind of the whole point of why I brought it up. I'd like to take a look at another clip from the same interview. Now listen to what she has to say about God, and then catch Mr. Muller's response.
Your motto is God, guns. Your motto is God, guns, guts, and American. Why did you come up with that particular motto?
Actually, it's God, guns, guts, and American pickup trucks, because we sell cars.
Right, but you include God in that, and some might wonder why God is included in a motto that it also includes guns.
You don't have a problem with God, do you?
No, I don't, but the combination curious. Some people might, between God and guns, some people might have a problem with that.
I don't
Putting
think
God
we need
in a motto that also includes
people.
guns might be a little upsetting to some people.
You don't think God wants us to defend ourselves? I'm confused. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't think
I could
God
ask
wants
you the
us to become
question,
victims.
we could do the what would Jesus do? Would he carry a gun?
No, they didn't have guns back then, but I do believe he'd carry a sword if he needed it, but he was so powerful he didn't need any weapon.
That is true. Thanks so much for joining us, Mr. Mueller. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Hey, I appreciate it.
Oh, man. No, we didn't have guns back then. It's just too good to be true. Steve, God, guns, and guts. It's almost a cartoon slur against you rubes out there in flyover country. But it used to be kind of the foundational ethos of our country. Have we advanced, do you think, or have we gone astray? This is your 30-second rat.
Well, what interested me most was watching that CNN anchor. She prefaced, I think, half of her questions with, as in, what's my next line of attack? How do I trip up this guy?
Yep.
You know, that's gotcha journalism, and it's about all the mainstream media has left these days. They can't just ask honest questions. They've got to try and trip you up when they disagree with you, and that's dishonest journalism.
Thanks for joining us, Steve. Steve Green can be found at vodkapundit.com. And Scott Ott, there's something specific in what you said that bothers me, and I was wondering if it bothered you too. And that's the idea that God is a sort of amorphous blob of unqualified love. Is that your perception, or does God not demand righteousness? And is this a righteous man, would you say?
I think this is a genuine, authentic believer in God, and I don't know how he defines that, but I think maybe 2,000 years ago it was God, swords, boldness, and Galilean fishing boats. But they certainly there is nothing in the Bible that indicates this sort of wimpy Jesus in the terry cloth robe with the aroma of Schwab strawberry shampoo wafting off of him.
All right, Scott. Thank you very much. Scott Ott is. Can be found at scrappleface.com, and he's also running for office, so get out your votes, ladies and gentlemen. The only thing I really want to say in closing about this gentleman is you don't have to agree with the guy. Plenty of people disagree with the guy. The thing about this man that impresses me so much is that he doesn't seem to care what people think, including CNN news anchors. He has a system belief, he has a moral code, and he lives with it, and he's not ashamed of it. And I just really, really enjoyed watching that in action. That's your trifecta moment of the day. I'm Bill Whittle from PJTV.com. We'll see you next time.